What is going on, guys? Chris here, and welcome back to another market overview. Today is July 25th, Tuesday, so we're going to be going over the price action and I think the 4 or 5 trades that we took total on NQ, which we won all of them, so another 100% win rate day, twice in a row now. I'm going to be looking at the MNQ chart because if you go over to NQ, just for the general analysis, you're going to see it's very busy. We're going to cover all these zones, and then again, second day in a row of no ES. I only had one level, which is this 1 minute FEG drawn out. But other than that, ES has been very choppy, and the range for ES, although it was strong, it was very strong today compared to, say, NQ. I don't think that it's going to be as profitable, and it simply just is not as profitable as NQ, and you're not going to be having that good of entries as well. It's very difficult to find entries on ES. So first thing that we do in the morning, I'm just going to again walk you guys through, just in case you haven't watched the last videos. What we're doing first thing in the morning when we wake up before market opens is we're charting out these levels of liquidity. So for example, we have this previous high over here on Friday at 1 p.m. and we're on the hourly chart. This is a level we reject from, and we have a big tank on Friday. And so this morning we tagged that, but that's a level that's very noteworthy, as well as this level today that we hit and also had a nice rejection from as well, which is 719.5. So we have both those levels charted out, and that's really it for a larger analysis that I'm looking for on a larger time frame. If we go down to NQ here on the 1 minute now, we're going to be seeing that we tagged that 19.5 level about right here in the afternoon at 2:30 Eastern. But that's really it. I don't want to take too long and lollygag on that larger time frame analysis. Let's just get into the first few trades. So I have my fills. Unfortunately, I was only able to get fills from 2 of my accounts, so I traded across 3 accounts today, and I have the fills, so you guys will believe me, on these accounts, right? These 2. We'll go over these trades, but there's one trade that I did not get a screenshot of, which is this long right here. And this is the first trade that we took today, which was at 12:30 Eastern. The reason for this trade is because we're retesting this zone, which I'm going to explain in a second, but as we can see, long, and it goes into profit, but we're retesting the zone. We're going to go over to the 5 minute real quick. We're retesting the zone. Oh my God, where'd it go now? We're retesting this order block. So the first thing that we see on the chart is we see a bullish order block at 11:25 on the 5 minute NQ. So we can do, draw a little purple rectangle here. Hopefully the blue one behind, we'll just delete it for a second, doesn't interrupt. But this is what we're looking for. Our entry, again, is right here at 12:30. So basically the top of this candle at this open, it's at 66. That was our entry. And it comes all the way down and we trade back up. Now, not only is this an order block, but we also have a bit of an FEG right here. And so far we were respecting this FEG, and you can see where we closed. And when you're seeing closures on FEGs that are very close, so even if you close below, but it's kind of respecting on the next candle, that's when you know that FEG is obviously noteworthy, and you can definitely see an expansion to further the upside on the day. And the reason I'm choosing this FEG, just for anyone wondering, rather than say an FEG down here or this FEG or anything else on like a 1 minute or 15 minute or whatever time frame you're looking at, the reason I'm choosing this FEG is because it's the FEG that created the new high day. So when this candle goes into new high day, it creates this fair value gap. We have another candle that holds above high day, and then we come back down to the FEG, bounce, consolidate a bit, bounce back in, wick, and so our entry is right here. So let's just go down to the 1 minute once again. I know the chart keeps doing stupid stuff, but our entry is here at 12:30. Now, as soon as we enter at 66, 2 minutes later, we're immediately at a 12-point loss. Now, we were in voice, and I explained to everyone, we're holding this trade. There's no reason to exit. We're now in the order block, which we tagged into here, and then we tag into again here. And when we see this series of green candles, it is very likely that we, of course, just continue to upside. Even when we get back to break even, people say, I don't want to, be in this trade anymore. It's just stressful. It's stressful that you were down for, 3 minutes, right? Yeah, I'm being sarcastic, right? But this is a good trade. We took the long here, again, just based off this FEG and the order block that we had in support below. And I'm just expecting it to be a bullish day because my bias is if we had broken this high day, which of course it did, as we can see, then I'm leaning bullish into the afternoon and a sell-off in the afternoon. You guys are not going to believe me if you weren't in VC or if you weren't in the Discord, obviously, reading the analysis. So you're just going to have to take my word for it there, but that is what we were looking for. If we had not broken the high day, we're looking for downside the entirety of the day for a sell-off in the earnings. That's why we see this volatility. Don't want to spend too much time though, so let's just go into the next trade. Hopefully that makes sense. Fair value gap, and then we also see the order block. So that's a trade, and we sold at high day. So this candle right here was about a 22-minute trade. Now, for our next trade, after this, we have all the fills marked out, so you guys can first kind of believe me on all these. We have this entry right here on longs, and what we're looking for is actually quite a similar setup, but we were looking to target a level that was above, which is 19.5. Now, if we go to our 15-minute on NQ, damn, this chart is being annoying. We can see right here we have this level. Let's start at 19.5. It's 19.25. Same thing. So 19 level is what we're targeting. We're targeting this for a long. And the reason I enter here on this long position at 223 is because we're approaching that high. And a lot of people were saying, oh, it's really risky, Chris. When we entered this, we were immediately down, right? So our entry was at 12. It was pretty close to the high of this wick. And then it comes all the way back down here to 02. It just hesitates right here for about 3 minutes. We're back to break even. So all this trade is a break above this consolidation. And typically we would be seeing a sell-off after this. So my mindset when I'm in this trade, or before I get into the trade, is if we were to sell off and have this tank, which we do see before earnings gets reported, what we would want to see is no retest and no break above these highs in the consolidation here, because this would just cause, let me just go to my little pencil here, this would just cause here to be the top, and we come down into these lows and this low over here to grab liquidities for maybe a move higher, but otherwise we're just going to be going below this low, retesting FEG, and going down into the end of the day. Since we don't have that, we have a completely different sort of setup. That is why we're taking this long here. And we can see on the fills, I think I got in a few more. So I got into a few more right here, and you can see 1, 2, 3. So I got 3 NQ on this trade, at least on this account. And then we exited all 3 NQ. Of course, missed out on a bit of profit. But that's totally fine with me, because all we were trying to target was that 19.25 level. If it had gone to, if it had gone to 19.25 and then suddenly started to dip, that would have been a little bit scary, and we don't really want to be holding through those sort of trades. You just want to be exiting at our TP. So that's that trade. My computer's a bit glitchy today, as you guys can see, so hopefully it doesn't crash while I'm recording this. But the next part of the video, so a bit of famous last words there from me. Hoping my PC was not going to crash, but it freaking did. So I'll see if that last portion of the video is saved, but let's just go into the rest of the trades, guys. I do want to get through these quickly and not have to lollygag around. But next trade that we took was a short right here at this yellow circle. What we're looking for, and again, we exited this trade here for the long. We exited a TP. I think I said that in the last portion. Exited a TP, which was 19.25. After that, we're out. We have no positions left. But the next trade that we took was on MNQ. So you'll see it has 3 little arrows and then a full exit down here. But we had 5 MNQs, so it was a very small position, and we only made about like 400, 500 bucks off of it. But the reason for this entry on MNQ, and I'm just showing it on the NQ chart, is due to weakness toward the upside. And this is one of those trades where you size down, you have that bias, and you kind of just trust your gut on it. I'm not just saying it's pure luck or anything. It was one candle off of the high day, so I would hope that it's not, you guys are not going to think, oh, it's just lucky that he got, one candle off of high day. I'm looking at this trade and I'm thinking we've retested this zone that we broke out from, this FEG. That's great. I really don't care, because I think that we're still going to dip into the end of the day. And after that, you can see entries here. We go back down to the FEG, we bounce, and we break structure. We go further down. Now, our exit is right here, and we're still looking for shorts because we still think it's going to break this consolidation zone down here. And so we're going to explain this last trade over here, this short, in a second. But the reason for this trade is that we took out this little small buy side, right? This small ass buy side here, few stops. So people are still thinking that we're going to go into the end of the afternoon here into a dip before ER. So ahead of Microsoft, ahead of Google, and ahead of FOMC, we should be seeing a sell-off. People are trying to de-risk their positions into the next day, Wednesday. So our entry is at this candle, this red candle, because it's kind of, again, a little bit of a gamble and a bit of just trusting your gut. But the reason I'm entering on this candle and not on this candle or this candle is because I'm thinking that this could be the beginning of the sell-off here after we're breaking above this high. and it's the first sort of sign of selling pressure coming in. They grab liquidity, very small liquidity as you can see of that. I don't have too much to explain on that trade. It's sort of a trust your gut trade. Go small, set your TP, set your stop loss. So of course our stop loss is just at this high at 36 and our entry was at 33, so it didn't really matter. It was 3 points of a loss if we ended up taking it. Again, exit is down here. You can see how pinpoint that was. Hopefully you guys don't think that's just, you know, pure Chris luck. Last trade though, so we can go off the micros because that was just micros. Last trade is a short. Again, very close to the high, so very nice entry here. We're entering off of this FVG, and it's the FVG that we actually previously were using as support. So we can see that we created this 1 minute FVG. Again, why is this FVG important? And I've explained it to you guys earlier in the video, so you guys should kind of already know. The reason that we're using this FVG, and where would you talk about it? Like, I think over here, or over here, this is where we talked about it. The reason we're talking about this FVG in specific, and not any FVG down here, or any order block down here, is simply because it's the one that takes us into the 19.25 level, and into a new high day also. This one took us into new high day, this candle right here. But there's no really FVG that creates from that. It's this one that we test here. This is an important FVG. It takes us into new high day, into that 19.25 liquidity zone, that buy side liquidity, which we took out. And we come down, we test it 3 times. On this retest, we are still expecting the market to close weak. People are still going to close their positions. People are still selling. So why the hell would we go into a new high day, right? The risk to reward here is you set your stop loss above this high, because if it breaks 24 in this consolidation, it's very likely just going to go for, you know, kind of irrationally go for this high and go into the end of the day with a pump. But is that, you know, at all rational or reasonable whatsoever? No. So we're shorting here at this level. I think I don't remember what our entry is. I'm just going to kind of bullshit it. It's probably like 14 or 12, something like that. And then it comes right back in. So we a bit of profit, right back in, rejects again. And then as you can see, we enter more shorts here. And then we hold through this pop. So I think it was 2 NQ, then 3 NQ, then 4 and 5 and 6 NQ right here. And I was just going for a quick scalp on these additional contracts. So in total, I was in at a certain point with 6 NQ. That was our secondary entry here, and that's because we're expanding away from the FVG and we're targeting these areas of liquidity. Now, this is where people get sketched out. This is where people get scared. Why do we hold this trade here during this green candle? First of all, we don't know that all these reds are going to come and we're going to go into a new liquidity, or into this sell side liquidity, sorry. We don't know that at the time. We're keeping our composure. We're keeping our stop loss at a safe spot. So now we moved it down here to this 19 level. Let's just stay calm. We're still with our bearish thesis that we're going to sell off into the end of the day. There's no reason that just because we bounce for a little bit, take out a bit of this, you know, selling pressure here that's coming in. So everyone has their little stops. They're expecting us to break here. They're all having the same idea as us, but they just kind of get short squeezed, right? They're in too heavily. They're expecting a big ass tank, which we do see and we do get nice fills on. Everyone's expecting that. And so we sell off here. Once we see these 4 candles, which isn't too much of a retracement from the screen, but it's enough to tell us, okay, the sellers are not just going to be, you know, weak above this high here. They're going to be coming in strong, which they do. After we fill this entire candle, so after we go from the bottom here all the way to the top, and then from the top here with a ton of little reds to the bottom, we bounce a tad and we go for the liquidity. But the ultimate liquidity is this white line. And this is where we got a nice fill. So of course it didn't hold until the very end of the day. I think that's already when earnings was kind of getting reported, or right after market close. So that candle is already after market close, and this one as well. So we basically closed about 3 minutes before the market did close as a whole. So that's the trade recap for today. A bit lengthy, I know, but we took a lot of trades. What was it, 4 or 5? And then for the one Discord alert, you guys can see here, it was this NQ long at 710. I said it was a scalp, and it says at 11:29 and then 11:31. It was an easy entry because it was consolidating for 1 to 2 minutes there. But that was this trade that we previously went over here. So that's a very nice trade. Very, very good profit on that. 11:29 until 11:31. So that's Pacific time. Oops, sorry. But over here, that was the long. My bad. Over here. That's all I got for you guys today, though. Let me know if you have any questions. Tomorrow's FOMC, so just be careful with your positions, size down accordingly. And let me know if you need help. I'll be in the DMs. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.